You? I thought I heard something. Is it safe yet? You must be fierce with a blaster then. Give me a moment, I sort of jammed the door a bit. Just don't leave.
Thanks for saving me. I thought those leg wrecks had me for sure. Oh, what do I know about moisture vaporators? Well, I told him I wasn't sure if it would work or not. Hey, can we please talk about this later when we're not in danger of being eaten by leg wrecks? Sorry, I gotta go. You can meet me in the salvager camp.
I have studied the holorecord of your trial. I am unsure what to make of it. I must confess that I was searching for some meaning beyond the records. A reason for why one would leave the Order. Yes, but exile is rare, and I have found it is not really something that the Order can enforce. Believe it or not, it was really your choice. I don't think so. Perhaps some of them felt strongly about your sentence, but I think something else concerned them again. The choice to turn away was yours, not theirs. You are correct. I am afraid I have not been entirely open with you concerning my past. If I look familiar, it is because we have met before, at the Enclave on Dantooine, many years ago. As on Coruscant, Force-sensitive children are taken to Dantooine as well, though it is done rarely and only with those they believe are destined to become Jedi Knights. It is the secret nature of the place. If you are not chosen by a master when you have come of age, however, then the path of the Jedi is denied to you. I met you on Dantooine, long ago, briefly. You taught us the ways of the Force, how to hear it sing within others, within the life around Dantooine. It is difficult to explain the difference between you and Master Vrook, but I think it is because he was knowledgeable, but not a leader, not a mentor. You were different. We could all feel it. And I knew that if I were to have a master, I would want it to be you. And then you went to war. Many Jedi went to war, and the Jedi Masters proclaimed that you were Jedi no longer. Atris, the mistress of the Archives, was first among them. I knew at that moment that if you would no longer be a Jedi, then you must be correct. I realized I did not want to be a Jedi. Instead, I wished to follow your path. And in any event, there was no one to train me, even if I wished it. They all went to war, as I grew past the age of acceptance. It is possible to forget the Force, you know. If you have not felt it strongly enough, then there is little to miss. But I never felt the Force as strongly as I did when I was with you. And so I decided to serve the Republic, study the Jedi teachings, gather them perhaps. It was important to me to understand the Jedi now that they were gone. I felt some part of you should be preserved, so that your lessons would not be lost. Perhaps. I still harbor doubts about the path I walked. I am on a diplomatic mission. I am one of several tasked with attempting to contact any remaining Jedi and convince them to return to the Republic. I know something of the Jedi. I have studied them for a good portion of my life, and now that they are gone, such studies are even more important. I do not think it is a matter of luck or chance. Only my own inability to find them. While the Enclave trained me for many things, I am afraid that the life of a bounty hunter was not among them. I suspect my turning away from the Force is also a hindrance in such cases. I imagine the Jedi would be easier to find if I still maintained my connections to the Force. No. It is something of a mystery why they would exile themselves as they have. It is not the way of the Jedi to vanish in such a way. Especially when the Republic is in need of them. I fear that there is something else at work. Something that we cannot see. Then again, perhaps the Jedi are hiding simply because so many people hate them these days. It is difficult sometimes for the Jedi to see such things, since much of it is rooted in human nature, and the Jedi are often removed from events of daily life, insulated. But the reason the Jedi Civil War was named such was because few in the galaxy can recognize the difference between the Sith and the Jedi. To them, they are both Jedi, with different philosophies. Not always. Jedi often fall. They cause much harm on Onderon, for example, in the name of peace and protection. Uleg Keldroma and Exar Kun, the two Dark Lords during the Sith War many decades ago, were once Jedi Knights, as were Revan and Malak. It is perhaps more amazing that some still trust Jedi after many have fallen and endangered the galaxy. It is also proof that a single Force wielder can change the face of the galaxy. And that is a frightening thing indeed. Hate? No. I do not hate them. They only raise questions without answers. Jedi are not supposed to be like the rest of us. They are supposed to see a higher purpose in all things, and they are supposed to train students responsibly and well, so mistakes of the past are not repeated. Yet all I saw was ignorance and arrogance, and what those seeds created in the Republic. It is difficult to follow the Jedi Code when so few others have, but you know this. The problems with the Jedi are my own. I do not wish to burden you with my troubles. That is hardly surprising. What do you wish to know? I am on a diplomatic mission. I am one of several... Yes? Is some... That is hardly surprising. I do not know if you are aware of how fragile the Republic is at the moment. Its influence is stretched thin, and it grows weaker with time. Still, there is hope, and I must remind myself of it, even when times grow dark. As long as we hold Onderon and Telos, then perhaps we have a chance. There are many factors. Aside from protecting Telos and Onderon, we need a rallying force. We need the Jedi, even if they are just figureheads. That is why I traveled to Dantooine, to find some trace of them. The Jedi are a symbol. As much damage as their reputation took during the Sith War and the Jedi Civil War, there are still many who they serve as an example. Plus, there have been times in the past where a single Jedi has been enough to change the face of a world, or a galaxy. I suppose I still believe that might be possible. Despite the betrayal of many of the Jedi against the Republic, I must concede that as figureheads, they do serve a vital role. The Republic is fragile right now. Telos is important because its success will determine whether or not the other dead worlds receive the same reconstruction efforts. If Telos is rebuilt and made habitable again, it will affect a string of worlds along the Rim. Onderon, strangely enough, was unaffected by the Jedi Civil War. It's almost as if Revan didn't want to attack it. Its resources and position on the Rim make it a vital supply line and guard post against Outer Rim attacks. Also, it's the only world in the Republic still capable of seeding ecosystems into other dead worlds. Onderon's wildlife is some of the most aggressive in the known galaxy. Merely placing some of those beasts on target worlds will guarantee their habitation for years to come. Dantooine was one of the few Republic worlds on the Outer Rim. It is why the Republic is attempting to get the settlement up and running. Dantooine is within reach of several other Rim worlds, and the Republic will need it as a resupply post if they are to keep a presence on the Rim. ready.
Yeah?
I am ready.
What's going on?
Braved the perils of the sublevel, yes. Many stories and artifacts in your possession. This is fortuitous for myself and associates. For now, not only do I get rich salvage, but an even richer bounty. Do not be making this difficult. Your death can be quite painless. So, this is your threat? Is terror what I'm supposed to feel? We know a thing about Jedi and their ways. And now, Jedi, we shall fight.
Still lurking. It's a shame. Yeah, well, I didn't mention that. Certainly. What? Who is that? You go down into... Certainly.
I feel much better now, thanks to you. I don't think I thanked you properly down there. I was pretty shaken. I found a few Jedi artifacts down in the sublevels. I was planning on selling them to Darala, but I'll sell them to you if you want them instead. I found 3 things down there. One's some sort of crystal, and the others look like lightsaber parts. If you give me 1,000 credits, you can have it all. That'll be enough for me to get off this rock. No returns on this. You're stuck with what you buy. A pleasure doing business with you. Now I can finally get passage back home. I hope that junk is worth it to you, I really do. Come back anytime.
Yes? Is something wrong?
Yes, General? Let me see what you have. That's everything. Now all you need is a little quiet time with the workbench.
Back again, huh? I don't know what more I can say to you, but it's nice to see you again, regardless. Oh, that again? I sold Sulru the moisture vaporator in the same condition it was in when I found it. All right. Dorala got there before me, and she just took the modulator because she was loaded down with the other stuff that Sulru abandoned. But after I sold the farmer back his moisture vaporator, I won the modulator from Dorala in a game of stones. You're a bit demanding, aren't you? If you want the modulator, I'll sell it to you for 500 credits, the same price I offered to Sulru. I'll give you the modulator. Wait a minute, what am I thinking? You're not taking my credits. And if you want the modulator, you'll have to pay. Back again, huh? But it's nice to see you again. Oh, that again? I sold Sulru the moisture vaporator in the same condition it was in when I found it. I don't know, must have fallen out somewhere. I came across it later. All right. Dorala got there before, but after I sold the farm... You're a bit demanding, aren't you? If you want the modulator, I'll sell it to you for 500 credits, the same price I offered to Sulru. Okay, I don't want any more trouble. Here's the modulator.
Smells like another salvager's come to our camp. Vacate, Mudlicker. Don't make me tell you again.
Ease off, Nalick. There's better sport than this one.
I don't need help to take out a Mudlicker. Yeah, I'm talking to you. You fight in any wars? I fought in the Jedi Civil War. I thought you were one of those useless salvagers. Or perhaps an uppity settler. I've had about enough of their attitude. So I figured blasting one of them would have done me some good. It's been a while since we've had work. Sides don't matter much. We're all soldiers. Most of us mercenaries worked with the Sith. Not too many Republic soldiers survived the war. You were a soldier too, so you know I'm not gonna answer you. I want to answer your question. Oh, my head. I don't know for sure. I hear rumors. I heard we got a secret job working with some powerful organization. No one tells me who. I know we're planning an attack soon, but I don't know against who. They aren't too far, though, because we're expecting to attack soon. We're preparing to attack soon, so they have to be in this sector of the galaxy. They've been very quiet about who the enemy is. I don't feel so well. I feel dizzy. I gotta go now.
What? You shouldn't sneak up on an old fella like that. You shouldn't be out of here anyway. This is Kinrath territory. There was a time when seeing a Kinrath was a rare thing. They mostly were around some caves to the south of here. But now, they're everywhere. They're dangerous, too. More vicious than they used to be. I'd stay away from the eastern side of the plains. And now that I think about it, stay away from the west, too. The west is filled with cat hounds. Dantooine is in a sad state these days. Mostly because the Republic has left us to fend for ourselves. I gave the Republic the best years of my life, and I understand they're under pressure. But I think that they'd be able to spare at least something to help us out. All we get is sympathy. Some law and order, for one thing. Take what I'm doing right now. A couple weeks back, there was an accident here. One of the Western Fringe farmers was coming to Kunda on his swoop with a load of atmospheric sensors. We found him dead and his swoop bike all banged up. I've come back a couple of times to try to figure out if that's what really happened. I do. The Kinrath are dangerous. But as long as you stay on your swoop bike, there's no way they should catch you. I've carefully searched this area and haven't found anything. So maybe our man just got sloppy. We really need those atmospheric sensors.
But Dantooine is temperate. There is no need for atmospheric sensors except for seasonal data collection.
Huh? It's just important we get it back. They're expensive pieces of equipment, and we can't afford to replace them. Regardless, I don't suppose you'd be willing to keep an eye out for something. I doubt you'll be able to find any evidence of what happened here, but you might come across the atmospheric sensors. They have to be somewhere. If you find any of them, just come back here. I'll pay you 1,000 credits for each one you can find, even if they're broken. No idea whatsoever. I figure it's a real long shot you'd ever spot one. But I also figure it wouldn't hurt to ask.
Yes, General?
Yes? Is something wrong? That is hardly surprising. What do you wish to know? The problems with the Jedi are...
of them!
Take him down.
You have got nothing!
I don't know about that. They are vitally important pieces of equipment on tectonically or environmentally unstable regions. But do you really need atmospheric sensors on Dantooine? Nice job, General. Yes, General?
Yutapak mito, hai best nikta tochi mapao kraweno. Yatuka uwan. Krempawi cho simurangta weba gonorimbo. Harandoto, junsorito mas. Yatuka uwanrika chotin wani maurata wakata chiluma lisba. Yatuka uwanrika chotin wani maurata wakata chiluma lisba. Bram tabanin sochu. Da come jusmak miki baranye doso so rika chondin. Wana magrable mogo. Yatuka uwanrika chotin wani maurata wakata chiluma lisba. Charika yayakta min sobachina ni. Kavanatakalu. Kavanamidong. Huta yanolia. Jukta genichu bawanki na jung winoton ma no mivrita. Yatuka uwanrika chotin wani maurata wakata chiluma lisba. Yatuka uwanrika chotin wani maurata wakata chiluma lisba.
Thoughts are disturbed. I can feel them from a great distance, like a shiver running through you.
This cave is force sensitive. I've read of places such as this.
Force-sensitive locations such as this absorb and reflect force energy. The crystals are the catalyst here. I sense that Revan once passed through here, leaving a strong impression behind in the crystals. Perhaps future Jedi who visit this cave will feel our presence, as if seeing our footprints preserved in the soil. The crystals here are infused with the Force. Some could be harvested and used for lightsabers. The crystals here do not drain Force energy from Jedi. They collect the excess energy that radiates from those attuned to the Force. That can hardly be avoided. Even mundane actions of the basest creatures can create detectable ripples in the Force. A Minok beating its wings on the plains could cause a sandstorm in the desert, and figuratively speaking, Jedi have much bigger wings. That would create quite a large impression of yourself, and the crystals would eventually grow back. crystal responds to you. This is very rare indeed. The crystal's bond with you is such that the stronger you become in the Force, the more powerful your crystal will grow. This crystal will make an excellent focus for a lightsaber. Quite the contrary. Picture yourself as a sieve, and the Force as water pouring into you. This crystal draws from the excess water that escapes the sieve. The crystal is in tune with you. It will use whatever water that pours through you, be it dark or light.
Yes, General?
Yes? Is something wrong? That is hardly a Many Jedi went to go fight in the Mandalorian Wars, and few returned. To their disciples left behind on Dantooine, on Coruscant, there were few masters to train them. I was one such student. Perhaps not as strong in the Force as the others, but the teachers left behind when I came of age. It was for the best. Never. I have seen you, traveled with you. My life was mine, not chained to yours. Your apologies are not... I think you are right. It is time. I have watched you. You have become strong in the Force again. But that is not all. You have achieved a center in the chaos around us, and I have felt it, my master. The one intended for me, left to fight in the Mandalorian Wars. Now she has returned. And I ask her now if she will train me in the ways of the Force. The one who was to be my master was lost at Malachor 5. I want you to teach me the ways of the Force, to become a... What's going on? Something you need of me? Yes? Is something wrong? That is hardly surprising. What do you wish to know? No. It is not the way of... I fear that there... And again... That is hardly... A false bomb. Yes? Is something...
Halt, settler. This is a restricted area. How the hell did you get through the Kinrath? You should leave. We are highly trained veterans, and you're just a settler with a toy blaster. We're taking the Jedi to Nar Shaddaa, and that is the end of that. I'm gonna say this nice and simple for your little calf-hurting head. Unless you want to wind up dead, leave now. I warned you, but I'm glad you didn't listen. Attack, men!
Always rushing into action without thinking of the consequences. What? You're expecting thanks? Kunda is in danger, and you've ruined the best chance of averting a full-scale conflict. Is this a joke to you? People's lives are at stake. Every action has consequences, no matter how small or insignificant they seem. And even the smallest choice has the potential for harm. The Mandalorian Wars was proof of this. Intentions mean nothing if a greater tragedy is caused. Did you think rushing into battle against the Mandalorians did anything but bring more harm to the galaxy? It only served to bring about a second war more dangerous than the first. Countless Jedi died in both conflicts, and everyone who followed Revan and Malak died or returned to the dark side. Except, conveniently, you. Disobeying the Jedi Council brought about more destruction than the Mandalorian Wars ever could. Countless Jedi lost, the Republic broken, Enough of this. This is not the time for such arguments. The mercenaries have allied themselves with the Exchange and are planning to attack Kunda. They've been holding off for the right moment, and now since they lost their captive Jedi, they'll attack immediately. I'm going to try to reach Administrator Adari. Time is of the essence.
Everyone, on their guard! Protect yourself!
You are the Jedi I've heard reports of, and I am Azkul, leader of the mercenaries on Dantooine. That is correct, and I want you to help me. According to my reports, I have 4 times as many soldiers as the militia, and I'm committed to taking Kunda. It is inevitable that I will succeed. If you wish to avoid my men eradicating the people of Dantooine, you will make it easier for me to take Kunda. Of course, I will pay well for your services. You'd better reconsider. I can't have a Jedi interfering with my plans. There is a considerable bounty on your kind that I will collect on unless you're working for me. Men, I trust you can handle this Jedi.
Yes, General?
I hear you.
I hear you.
What's going on?
How may I serve?
I don't suppose you found any of those atmospheric sensors? That's great news. My offer still stands. I'll pay you 3,000 credits for all of them. It is worth more to us than that. I'll pay you 4,000 credits for the lot of them. If you must. Are you ready to trade them? I was afraid of that. So, how do we do this, then? We were picking up off-world transmissions between the mercenaries and someone, we don't know who. We know that the mercs are up to something, we just don't know what. We set those atmospheric sensors up to gather information. Now you know why we need those sensors. I'll pay you 5,000 credits for all 3 of them. That's about all we can afford. You make money and help us out at the same time. What do you say? Yeah, that's admirable of you. Thank you. I'll get this back to Zeron when I get back to Kunda.
That was a kind act. It is good to see that one can still show compassion, even after the war. And that is why I follow you, General. Lead on. I didn't want to talk about the war, but can I ask you something? Why did you decide to fight? I felt the same way. I remembered when word of the Mandalorian attacks arrived on Iridonia. My people had colonies across the Outer Rim. Many of them were among the first systems to fall. I did not join because I wanted to protect, though. I hated them. I wanted to destroy them. To give them the mercy they gave the people they conquered. I remember the thrill I felt when we fought them in battle. Victories were rare, but we celebrated every Mandalorian's death. Do you know how it felt? It's always on my mind now. That loss of control blinded me, turned me into a weapon. I just needed to... Was there something you want? Yes, General?
My life is yours.
Yeah?
The honor is mine.
Let's go.
How may I serve?
Charanana Gundoso Remine Charanana gundo.
My life is yours.
Don't cause any more trouble for Dantooine. Had enough of it for a
Any luck on getting my modulator back from Joran? I don't think anyone here will be able to help me. Fantastic! I'd only hoped to get the modulator back. I never imagined you would get my money back, too. How did you do it? Really? You must have been very persuasive. I'm relieved this situation is finally resolved. You have more than earned this reward.
Zeron was right about the mercenaries all along. I guess my ego clouded my judgment as to what's best for Kunda.
Don't cause any more trouble for Dantooine. Had enough of it for a lifetime.
In Soranaka me gunsoji, nekchi unabola monchi watatong, sobodono bisel chamaka. Chuta kokpa!
I see you have found the elusive Master Vrook. He's told me that his rescue complicated our situation to some degree. I can't say that I anticipated that. I thank you for finding him, though. Vrook has informed me that the mercenaries devised a plan of attack to annihilate Kunda itself. I must ask for your aid again, Jedi. Zeron says that even with a plan, the mercenaries have to gather their forces, then coordinate their assault. So we still have time. I'm afraid the militia has not been adequately trained for the task that befalls them. Our militia is effective at peacekeeping, but isn't prepared for a full-scale battle. If you can do anything to ready them for the reality of it, that would be helpful. Besides that, look around Kunda and see what you can do to strengthen our defenses. I know that we don't have the perimeter turrets online, and that alone could make a significant difference. Zeron says there is a considerable chance they will breach Kunda itself. Anything you can do to slow them down could turn the tide of battle. Here is a MasterCard key that will open all of the security doors inside Kunda. Anything that might aid you in your task, please use. Soon, all the civilians will be evacuated. So if you have any business with them, I suggest you take care of it. Whenever you are ready to finalize the defenses, talk with Zeron.
I was right about you. You are trouble. But you might just be the right sort of trouble we need. The mercenaries aren't quick to mobilize, so you have time to do what you need. Or are you ready to finalize the defense plans? So you did. Here's the credits I told you about. Even with the caves cleared, I imagine it'll take some time before the Kinrath aren't on the plains. That was very helpful of you. You saved some lives today. The mercenaries aren't quick. We could use people handy with a blaster. Getting people to join the militia for a short stint would be good. We also got a lot of things that could use fixing. It isn't glamorous, but that type of work sometimes makes a load of difference. Just look around. Plenty to be done. Off the top of my head, the 3 turrets outside Kunda are on the blink. They went haywire the other day and wounded some of my men, so we took them offline. The men who were wounded by the turrets are holed up in the med lab. But our medic droid is busted, so they're healing slowly. I've had some men lay traps around Kunda, but nobody here really specializes in demolitions. I'm sure there's some gaps that could be filled. The side security door to Kunda has been malfunctioning as long as I've been here. It may be best to just seal it off lockdown so nobody gets through. We got some broken assault droids that have been collecting dust for the last 5 years. If they were working, it would help a lot with interior defense. If I had it my way, I'd recruit any citizen of Kunda that can hold a blaster. But it's hard to convince peaceful farmers to fight, maybe die for a cause. When you're ready, come back.
A lot of people here hate Jedi. When they were here, they tried helping us. I don't blame them.